Hey guys, so good afternoon to everyone in Asia. Good morning to everyone in Europe, and very very early morning to those in North America. So we're gonna do a quick Q&A, ask me anything session. We'll just wait for everyone to at least join us. This is a joint live session with our community in TikTok, in Facebook, and in YouTube. And I'm gonna do my best to accommodate and answer the questions that you guys have sent out. So for those who are TikTok, I'm looking here. For those who are in Facebook and YouTube, I'm looking at you guys here as well. So there. Yeah, and we now have people live. So what I'll do is I'll try to answer the first ones that come my way, and then we'll progress. If there's any chart related questions or any technical analysis related questions, also I'll try to answer that as well. So we have one question from Kimbert Franco. How many minutes are we on? Let's give it a few more seconds. I think we're 1 minute on. Just a few more, I think a minute so that more people can join this. But feel free to put in your questions. So it's right down there. Put in your questions and we'll try to answer them to the best of our abilities. And at the end of the day, to give you as much value as possible, because ultimately that's why we do videos like this, to be able to educate you, to give you as much information, and to help you at least invest with confidence. So hello to you, Van Lloyd Cortez, Big Chris. Hello to you as well. I want to answer first the question that was sent out by Kimbert Franco. And by the way, put a comment also from where you're from, so I have context also on the questions you would like to send my way. So Kimbert Franco is asking, good afternoon, Sir Marvin. Sa tingin nyo, babalik pa ba sa all-time high in BTC? That's a good question. For those who are watching that don't speak Tagalog, the question is basically, will Bitcoin go back to its all-time high? So please, there's a lot of angles on how I can answer this. No, so one thing, let's look at the charts first, then I'll answer it from a different point of view. So looking at the charts, allow me to zoom in right here. You'll see one of the things that I look at also to denote if the market is somehow more bullish or more bearish is the 200-day moving average. And by the time we're recording this, the 200-day moving average is at the 48,919 mark. We're currently at 30,000. So it's a long way to go before we could actually see a reversal for Bitcoin. There's a very, very long, it has to break out from that first. So for a token, a crypto, or even a stock to go back to its all-time high, there are certain resistances that it needs to break. And I think one key depiction to show us a reversal is a breakout from the 200-day moving average. So I'll keep. What's nice about this is I can keep you updated. I can give you more and more videos like this to somehow give you more context on where we are in terms of where Bitcoin will be. Second thing is one of the reasons why it's down is please do note that the crypto market, or the entire crypto market, follows Bitcoin. Bitcoin somehow is attached to the US equity market, and there's a lot of volatility in the US equity market based on a lot of fears that people see in the US economy: recession, rate hike, high inflation, and everything else that has been going on prior to that. Supply glut, logistics. There's still a backlog in a lot of things because of what's happening in the logistics around the world. And again, inflation is higher primarily, and there's a ripple effect also on how gas prices are up as well. Then if you look at it also, there's the war in Ukraine and Russia is still pretty much in effect while all of this is going on. So whatever uncertainty that's in the equity market, Bitcoin is considered to be something that's volatile, even though I believe that it's game changing technology, even though I believe that it's something that over the long term will hold its value because it's a store of value. But over the short term, because it's a very, very new asset class, then there's a lot of volatility attached to it. Okay, so I hope I answered that question, Kimbert Franco. Next question is this: is it safe to invest or park your funds in USDC as a stablecoin? Uh, So what's nice about stable coins is that, for those who don't know, when there's volatility in the markets, you get protected. Meaning, if Bitcoin goes down and you are in a stable coin, um, you get you don't get to experience the downward push that's happening with Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana or Cardano or Matic and Polygon, Polygon and Matic are the same, and Avalanche, etc. So you don't get hit by that. So to answer your question, if you want to protect yourself from the volatility, stable coins are good. If you're asking, uh, where what do I feel more comfortable on leaving my stable coins for the long term? The one that's used the most still is USDT. However, however, um I normally put cryptos in USDT for positions that don't really stay for a long time in USDT, meaning there's an intention that I would move it to another cryptocurrency later on, and it really won't stay long there. Um, the ones that I want to leave for the long term, USD was part of it, sana, but you know all what happened to USD. I like BUSD, and correct, I also like USDC, especially if you are particular with stable coins that are following government regulations. So there. So I hope I answered your question, Kimbert Franco. Hello to everyone on TikTok. There. What else? Hello to Lord Wally Torres. Hi to you. Uh-huh. Let's see. There's a lot of questions here. Hello Ranilo. Hello Mark Perlas. Kiko, what's your specific question on SLP? Hello Vincent Cabanig. Mm, this is more specific. My thoughts on SLP. So if you if you're playing Axie, and you try, so let's look at the charts na rin, since we have the charts loaded. Let's look at it first from a charting perspective, so that we have a clear picture also. So if you look at SLP and you zoom out for the long term, this is how it actually looks. As you can see, it peaked, somewhere around here at the zero point 0.4 mark. It hit it twice. One was in May 2021, then it hit it again somewhere around July, then it started to dump. Then after it dumped, it consolidated, with which built a support somewhere around the zero point zero 0.05 level. So I'll put this here at least for context for everyone. So this is the support line, at least for SLP, that got broken. And right after the breakdown from that, it started to have a very, very long and strong consolidation already. With this at December 2021. So for the past 6+ months already, it really hasn't gone back to the previous level of resistance. That's where SLP is. So to answer SLP from an Axie Infinity perspective, and also a tokenomic perspective. Number one is, um, if you look at the entire gaming play to earn or GameFi narrative, as you've seen, majority of the projects that are highly connected into games, massively down, and that's a reality. A lot of those tokens have been hit. A lot of those games have been hit, and it's not just the games, but it's also the NFTs that are related to that. Even if you look at Axie, the price to buy an Axie Infinity NFT last June, July, August 2021 is far different from the price today. The number of players at the peak of Axie compared to where it is today is also really, really different. And part of that also is, when it was branded, or at least when people came into it, they were into Axie primarily to earn. And the thing about and this is how I'll segment SLP also into this, is that people have been earning SLP while they're playing. However, the more SLP they mint, there will be more into circulation. And similar to fiat, the more that you mint, the more that you put into circulation, the less valuable it becomes. And allow me to look up the market cap of SLP. No, I haven't memorized it. The market cap of SLP right now, is at 27, it's around 27 million. So if you note it, if you try to note it also, it's ranked 548 in terms of in terms of ranking of cryptos, the market cap of crypto. And if you look at it also, it now has zero. It's now at 0.005, meaning from where it was before, it already dropped 2+ decimal places as well. So going back to what I said earlier, majority of the people who went into Axie were in it to earn, but because the price of SLP is relatively down, combination of a lot of things, and also the general market is also down. Whatever some of them believe that their efforts for playing doesn't commensurate already to the time that they're spending there to be able to earn. And hence, if not a lot of people are playing, there's not a lot of interest also in the game, it affects the overall health also of people that would be earning in this particular game as well. So going back to this, since there's a lot coming out and then there's not a lot of people playing also, it highly affected the earnings of people. And uh, I think they have to fix it in a way that and I've said this in different videos, that they need to put more utility to SLP, meaning there has to be a compelling reason for people not to take it out. What do I mean by that? What's happening right now is when people get SLP, they swap it into fiat. That's basically how it is. That's basically the narrative of how it has been going. But if you look at newer games that have been coming out, what they've been doing is they've been trying to find ways on how do I say this? How they can use SLP or whatever game they have, whatever token they have, that people spend it or use it inside the ecosystem. Meaning there's an incentive for people not to actually take it out, which is, in my opinion, very, very good. Because when you figure out utility for a token, then there's a demand that develops. And I think they need to build more of that to somehow protect it, and they also have to find ways on how they can lessen the circulation. And I think number three, it will be driven also by the game. They have to attract more people that will love to play the game, that will be in it because it's fun and not just for the monetary incentive. So there, I hope I answered the question. Hello to you, Basti Espinosa. Michael Subayan is asking about Solana, if it's dead. Let's look at the chart. So so for those who don't know what Solana is, it's basically a smart contract blockchain. It's one of the ones that have been dubbed as an Ethereum killer. That's what it basically is. So I posted this in Facebook just a few days just I think a few days ago about I think it was yesterday. Well, I posted in Facebook that they just finished testing, or at least putting or one of the test nets of Ethereum to finally merge into proof of stake. And that being said, when they're done with all of the testing, of course, the next gradual step is to move into the mainnet. And the reasons why you have a lot of Ethereum killers is because there's a lot of things that Ethereum needs to fix, a lot of its scalability issues, a lot of the things that need to be treated for it to become highly relevant again, or at least not it's still relevant, it's still the biggest blockchain, but I mean there's a lot of things that they need to be fixed for it to be able to scale up. And the longer ETH 2.0 tarries, or the more it gets delayed, uh, the more a lot of these Ethereum killers will be there. But what's interesting about Solana though is um, their NFT community is starting to get bigger. And what's nice about that is having at least for the past few weeks, having the exposure to Sol NFTs also. There's a realization also that not everyone would be able to buy the NFTs in the Ethereum blockchain, primarily because a lot of the NFTs in the Ethereum blockchain are relatively more expensive as compared to Solana. Then you have the gas fees that are attached to it as well. So that being said, Solana is building its own community. And what's interesting about that is um, a lot of people who are into Ethereum are in it because it's decentralized. Solana is relatively a head-to-head versus Ethereum, more centralized, but the trade-off for Solana is it's faster. So you can research the scalability trilemma. I made a video on that on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. But based on the scalability trilemma, you can't have the best of both worlds or the best of all worlds, meaning it can't be decentralized, secure, and fast all at the same time. One has to give. So for Ethereum, it's secure and it's more decentralized. But currently, in its current form, it's slower. For Solana, it gave up a bit of its decentralization, but it's faster. So it depends on what people would value, but the way I would see it is Solana is an infrastructure blockchain. It's an infrastructure project, meaning how do I say this? It's an infrastructure project in a way that uh, not a lot of people look into the hood. What's more important to them will be the apps that are built on top of it. So if Solana would continue to create cool apps, dApps, and more users come to the space, more people come into Sol NFTs, then there will be more users, which will be very very good for their ecosystem. Now, I've been a big proponent of onboarding the top 1 billion users, or at least a billion users, into cryptocurrencies, and I believe it can't really you can't uh, with the current blockchains that are there. There's no single blockchain that can actually do it. Meaning, there has to be a combination of different blockchains, cross-chain, omni-chain, working together for a billion users to come in. So, in my opinion, over the next 10 years, whatever we're talking about right now, we need this infrastructure blockchains for us to be able to scale. Now, just looking at it from the chart, if you look at it, this is how Sol looks right now. Similar to what I've mentioned for Bitcoin. Look at the 200-day moving average. It hasn't really reversed yet. Look at the chart also, since the mainline drop, and I've made a lot of videos about this, and I've made some posts about this as well. That if it doesn't, it from a trend standpoint, it looks like it's still in a downtrend. Looking at the long-term moving average, it really hasn't reversed past that. And looking at it from a support and resistance perspective, at least from a range perspective, since the drop in mainline, it has started to consolidate. But what's interesting about that is it's not just inherent to Solana or Sol, it's in a lot of the smart contract blockchains that we have. You look at Avalanche, you look at Cardano, you look at FTM, you look at Near Protocol, you look at Algorand, you look at Polkadot. All of them also are very, very far still from the 200-day moving average. So there. Hope you guys are learning. Comment below if you're learning and if this is something that's helping you. The problem with when I do lives is I really need to drink water, just so this becomes sustainable. Okay, let's continue. Hello to you, Alan Padillo. Ryan Rivera, hello to you. Neneng, hello to you. Vincent Villegas, hello to you. Uh-huh. Hello sir, from Ryan Wong. Anong book po ninyo ang magandang magsimula basahin para maayos ng trading crypto, like lower time frame? So I only have two books that are technical analysis related. One is combination tech and fundamentals. It's called Winning Strategies for Investing. Then I only have one book that's purely technical analysis. It's called Breaking the Resistance. For those who are watching in YouTube, you can check it out in the description. The books are there. But the principles for candlesticks, trend, support, and resistance, you can use it even for crypto, even for forex. The concepts never change. The principle, that's why they're principles, because they don't change. They're consistent. It's just how you apply it that makes it different. So there. Mm-hmm. John Qo, hello to you from Bahrain. Uh, Correct. Yeah, that's what we talked about also. Um, Michael Sabuyan will BNB be the next XRP? Oh, are you talking about the court? Are you talking about the investigation by the courts? Uh that's a very good question. For those who don't know the backstory on this, XRP is one of the largest cryptos. And it has had very good staying power over the past few years. One of the reasons why it's down is the court case that's pending in the US. So I think no, everything will hinge on how the XRP case would go. If it does well, it will set a precedent also for the other cryptos that somehow have that issues. So the issue for XRP is they believe it's a security. Uh, and I think because it's so early, it's so new, there's a lot of gray areas in this. There's a lot of areas still that a lot of people, when they look at cryptos, I think a lot of the politicians that are building it in the US don't really understand what it is yet fully. And since they don't understand yet what it is fully, there's a lot of it's subject to interpretation. And when the case gets decided, in my opinion, at least um, for XRP, they will have now a foundation, and there would be more guidelines, in my opinion, for other cryptos that may fall in the same category. So I think we must watch what happens to XRP and how this would actually play out also in the next few months. And of course, everyone wants a resolution to all of this. But what's nice about that is uh, XRP has been really good in terms of remittances. It's been very fast and very cheap. If you want to send something cross border, XRP is one of the best ways to actually do it. That's why everything is spinning on this particular case, because if this case gets fixed, uh, that's one of the reasons. Really, that's why it dropped. So there. Uh-huh. Kimbert Franco, with Ethereum going to proof of work, is it more viable as an investment from a college citizen? So Ethereum right now is already proof of work. It's actually moving from proof of work to proof of stake. So they're actually deviating from proof of work because it's something that uh, is not as scalable. That's why if you look at it, what's nice about Bitcoin is I think people are asking that, is Bitcoin okay as proof of work? I think for its general use, that people like it as a store of value, not something that you would use as a platform. I think it works. But for Ethereum, that you need to build dApps on top of it. Uh, Proof of stake might be better because it won't be as expensive gas fees wise if there will be larger loads of transactions. And I want to say this: if you look at even the other deeds land sale that happened at the end of April, more that was already more than a month ago. If you look at how that actually moved, that's just one NFT project, and it somehow costs so much just to be able to transact and mint that NFT. So there, you don't look at it as what's interesting. So to answer your question, what its transition to ETH 2.0 will do, and you can check it now. I've had several videos in YouTube about this, about ETH 2.0 and proof of work to proof of stake. It makes it more environment friendly because you don't need a lot of computing power. Um, Aside from it being more environment friendly, it's not it does it I believe it won't be as resource intensive also to be able to validate transactions, and it helps it to be more scalable. So there, it will be bad though for miners because you won't need any miners anymore because it's already using proof of stake. Since it's used, if you are a miner and they're getting ETH from all of this, they'll be the ones that will be generally affected. So there. Thank you also to everyone watching from TikTok. LJ Lim, what platform can we follow you, post, or Marvin for copy trading? I'm not in any platform. I'm not a copy trader. But one of my good friends from the UK, you can follow him. His name is Jay Nemesis, Jay Smith. He's worth copying. He's worth following. He dabbles into crypto and stocks, but more stocks. So you can check him out, Jay Nemesis. He for some I don't know what's his ranking right now, but at some point, no, he was one of the top copy traders, popular investors in eToro. Um, there, Amir Abo asking, "Good afternoon, Boss Marvs. Do you believe in Web 3?" Yes, I believe it. I That's the reason why I'm heavily into crypto. That's the reason why I'm giving the finest years, the finest moments of my life to build on top of crypto, to build on top of NFTs, to build on top of Web3, because I really believe it's the future. I really believe that it's it's staring us right in the face right now, what it could do, where it could actually be, and how it will change a lot of things. So, and people need to realize this. All of this jargons, Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, it's just an iteration of the internet. It's just an iteration of technology. And if there's one thing that's so interesting about technology, it just moves forward, it just evolves, it just gets better. And here's one thing that I've noticed. I saw one of the comments in TikTok saying that he saw my picture with CZ. CZ was here, the CEO of Binance was here, had the chance to meet him yesterday. But um, I've met a lot of people, at least also talked to a lot of people that are really, really prominent in the space, from Michael Saylor to Lynn Alden to Tasha Shea to I was able to meet Charles Hoskinson of Cardano in Dubai. I also met the founders of Polygon. I also got to hear and also shake the hand of one of the co-founders of Sandbox in Dubai as well, Injective Protocol, and a lot of people. But what I'm trying to say is this: right here, right now, June 2022, we are seeing a lot of the brightest minds move into Web3. So it's not just that money is flowing into Web3, it's also the brightest minds, the best talent. And if there's one thing that I've been good at in stocks, is what I've realized is, if you know how to follow where the talent is, because talent is people, and it's people who create good products and good services. And if you know that there are more people that are smarter than you that are going there, then they're building something. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be volatile. Shout out to Colin Goltra. I saw him yesterday, and he said something very interesting, and it reminded me of my previous conversation with him, where he defined crypto, Web3, as a new asset, and everything that's new will have volatility. So strap in. I think it will be like this for a very long time, up until we see maybe a billion users come into this space. So there. If you guys are learning either in YouTube or in Facebook, press comment below I'm learning, or hit the like button. I appreciate it to know, to get at least feedback if this is something that's benefiting you guys, to you guys in TikTok. I don't know any feedback mechanism in TikTok, but appreciate it as well. If you want more people to learn more about this, like, share, subscribe, and share it. Also, click share in Facebook if this is something that's helping. Huh. Okay, I'll drink first again. So we have, I want to see how many people are live. We have, I think, 55 people in YouTube watching, then about 150 people in Facebook, and then we have 26 people uh, in TikTok also watching us. So thank you to everyone that's been part of this stream. Uh, Pete Vidal, Kimber Franco. Oh wow, Kimber, do you have the most questions? um, what's interesting about Luna, Terra Luna, prior to all of the action that happened the past month, is it's algorithmic stablecoin, and with it not being there anymore, it just looks like other smart contract blockchains. So I think it has to prove a lot first before at least it regains a lot of trust from people. I think part of part of technology also is people have to trust it. We've seen what happened there, and given that people have the ability to deploy cash, or at least their stable coins the way they want it, they have a choice to transfer it to other ones that are competing, that also have dApps that are doing almost the same thing. And uh, that could be Solana, that could be Polkadot, that could be Cardano, that could be FTM, that could be Near, that could be Algorand, that could be Ethereum. Regardless of what it is, there's the Terra has a lot of competitors, and what made it very unique was its algorithmic stablecoin that's not there anymore. So there. Lancelot, hello to you. I'm. Can you give me more context on this, Vohol Vincent? Just more context, please. Shell Loterente, good afternoon to you. She said, "Good afternoon, Sir Marvin. Good afternoon to you, Shay. Um, Joel De Luna, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Uh, Hemar Akaso, good afternoon. Um, John Buan, how do you read charts idle in your own way before you can say that you can predict it more accurately? So I want to say this. No one can predict the. I've been doing technicals for over a decade now, and I'm saying this not just based on what I've read, what I've uh learned, but it's from practical experience that even if you're using technicals, you can't really predict the market. Technical analysis is not really there as a forecasting tool or as a prediction tool. Technicals, in my opinion, is there for you to be able to do risk management, meaning you build your support and resistance. If it bounces, then it's a buy signal. If it breaks down, then it's a sell signal. Or if you're a trend follower, it's in a downtrend, probably you can short. Or if it's in a downtrend, if you have cash, probably you can stay away and not do anything yet. And then when you see it start to reverse, then that's your entry point to start to come in. Then when it starts to push up and starts to reverse down, that's your take profit signal. It takes time. You don't have to force yourself to be good at it very very fast, because part of trading and investing also is people need to realize this, that um, there's an emotional component because you're putting your money in it. That's why what's very very important is, as you're putting your money in it, you need to, how do I say this, it has to grow along with your capital, it has to grow along with your knowledge, and it has to grow along with your experience. And um, it's different for everyone. One thing that I'll tell you is this. um, to be good at something, I am a firm believer of this. It's 10,000 hours of intentionally doing something over and over and over and over again. So if you feel frustrated that why are you not getting the results that you want right now, it's okay, because in reality, it's all about putting the work. In reality, it's all about giving giving as much time to be good at something. So there. Lee Kwan Ho, on your experience when it's like, I honestly don't know. No one has a crystal ball on when the moves will happen. But what's more important, and what I believe people should focus on, is uh, while we are at the bear market, while we're very far from reversing from the 200-day moving average yet, what are you doing? I think that's a bigger and larger thing that people need to realize, because um, if you're looking at it from a tech perspective, you just need to set conditions on what will cause you to buy. You just need to put conditions on what will cause you to sell. If you're in it for the technology, if the token or the coin or even the stock that you want, uh, the reason why you want it, the reason why you want to buy it, the reason why you want to hold it is still there, then you don't need to sell. But at any given point in time while you're holding it, the reason why you bought it and you're holding onto it is no longer there. No matter how bullish everyone is, feel free to sell. Ultimately, it will be your conviction, regardless of how you got there, as long as it's based on sound principles. That should be your ultimate umpire to decide what you're supposed to do with the trade. So there. I hope you're learning. Like or share if this is something that's helpful. That's my only thing about live sessions now. It's unlike a 10-minute YouTube video. We're doing this now for 36 minutes and it kind of hurts my throat a bit. So I don't know how long will this last, but let's continue. Kimbert Franco's another question, but Kimbert, I'll try to answer the other people's questions first so that at least it's kind of balanced out, that we get to somehow answer other people too. Okay. Uh, do you like futures trading? Do you like using leverage? That's a question from Joel De La Luna. Uh, I like spot more. Um, Futures, smaller amounts for fun. Mainly that. But it's not something where in terms of size that I'm gonna put something that's relatively larger. So there. You have John Gonzalez saying BTC and BNB. Uh, so Mark Perlas, can you show us how to do charting with these confluences? Huh. So I'm what's interesting about that is if you notice how I would analyze crypto or even stocks, if you've been watching me for quite some time, the way I would look at it is I'm maybe because that's how I've been doing it for over a decade. I just like using support and resistance. I try to make it as simple as possible. I look at the trend first. Is it trending down? While is it trending down? Has it built a certain support level? If it's near the support, I buy. What support? What are there other parameters that are validating that this is a good entry level? And that's where I look at moving averages. That's where I look at MACD. Is it above zero or below zero? And then, but ultimately, my main decision point is drawing support and resistance. It doesn't really change from that. So back to this Solana example here. So what I'll do is this. So you have it consolidating here at this support level. So if I want to trade this particular range, just this one, which is very thin, which of course it works if you're using leverage. But if you're not using leverage, maybe one way to trade it is to trade the larger bands or the larger trading ranges also. So meaning if it holds at this level, then this becomes a buying opportunity. Then the target prices to sell will be in any of the resistances there. So as plain and simple as that. But if I want more conviction, that's where I check. Where is the moving average in line with all of this? If I'm a trend follower and I see that, hey, it's below the 25-day moving average, it's below the 200-day moving average, meaning somewhere around those price ranges, there might be sell pressure that it validates areas where I'm selling. So if you notice it here, I placed a resistance here, which coincides to the 200-day moving average. And I believe also, since that's where it's near the 200-day moving average, it could possibly also be an area where you could actually sell. In the same way, this particular moving average, which is a 25-day moving average, coincides with the 59, this particular area, the 79.17 level. So if it pushes up, hits that area, fails to go above, then that becomes also a sell signal, at least from my perspective. But everything right now will hinge on it holding this level. If this level does not hold, then it's a cut loss or it's a sell. So there. But from a trend following standpoint, if you notice it, and if you try to look at this very well here, uh, there, I'll zoom in. Yeah, there. The downward trending slope, it hasn't really gotten past it. And while all of that is happening, MACD also is below zero. So there. Let me look. John Gonzalez, BNB like Gcash, John Palma, hello to you. Charmaine Rena, tips for futures trading. I think it's still the same, no? But I guess you just limit yourself also in terms of leverage. I think for futures, it's more risk management than anything else. I think that's one of the biggest things to consider there, that you don't overexpose yourself. That leverage is very interesting. Uh, if you're on the side of the winning trade, but what if it doesn't go the way you want it to go? Then you get hit. Then there's a chance that you get to lose also a lot of money. So there. There's still a lot more questions, but I've been doing this for quite some time already. So what I'll do maybe is uh, we'll do this more often. If you guys have more questions, just put them down below, and I'll try to do this in random moments and random times also. Um, if you want to check out more videos, I've done a lot in YouTube. If you want to check out and just read, check out the books that I have or the webinars that we've created as well. So there, thank you so much for everyone, guys. By the way, whenever you see something like this, that's not me. Those are scammers. We've found out that those are people from Nigeria. Uh, we were able to investigate where they're from. I know I don't there I don't have giveaways like this, and I won't DM you to ask you to invest in something. So that's not me. Gia Marco, I answered this in a bit. Thank you, Gia Marco. So there. Um, I guess I'll put this to a close. So thank you so much. We have a YouTube video coming out 8 p.m. later. Check it out, and I hope that helps you. And I guess that's it. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.